Welcome, one and all, to another episode of the Nerdy Day podcast. I'm your host, your doctor, recommended dose of nerdiness, aka your Nerd Today, Carlos Rodriguez. And we are joined here by our first developer interview, Lagz. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Absolutely, yeah, man. So why don't you do me a favor? We're gonna just have you introduce yourself, where you work, what you're working on. We'll do some icebreaker questions, and then we'll kick into some of my more deep end questions about what you guys are working on.
Okay. Lagz. My real name is Daniel. I work at Halberd Studios in Guadalajara, Mexico, on the game design department. In order to define what I do, I have to read basically a description of what I do because it's something hard to me to
Fair.
tell people. So the game design department focuses on how the game works, on creating systems, rules, gameplay. And my role specifically is gameplay designer. What this means is that like the same like the other members of the game design department, uh, basically I have a bigger focus on user experience. Like, for example, if someone designs an inventory, I have to make questions like how is it going to be used, or how many items can we have, or can we sort the inventory, or stuff like that, or one inventory for weapons or equipment. Yeah, that's basically my job, like thinking about the user and how he can enjoy the game more.
Fair. Okay. Okay. So if there's any issues with this game, I know we'll know who to talk to first and foremost.
Yeah,
Got
bring
you.
it on.
Especially if it comes to inventory. But just joking.
Yeah,
I honestly, we'll get into it more when we talk about the game proper. But I don't think there's going to be much issues with this game. This game already looks incredible. Spoilers for what I'm going to be gushing
thank
about
you.
this game. So yeah, wanted to start with some icebreaker questions. Like I mentioned, every one of our guests who are new to the Nerd Day podcast, so like just to throw these under, depending on the context of what entertainment we're talking about. So, what is the first console you owned?
The first console I own, um, well, the first console I own, like exclusively for myself,
You
I
know, or someone
think,
bought you, like if someone, like it was a Christmas gift or anything like that. You can also just
yeah,
put.
the thing is, I was born in 2002,
Mm.
and yeah,
All right.
well,
Well, thank God my mic's hiding my gray hair. Jesus Christ.
well, and yeah, the first console I had was actually my grandma got it for my cousin and I, and it was the PS2.
Oh, great
Uh,
console.
yeah, yeah, the some great memories with that
You
console,
started with
and
the goat console, probably. Was
yeah,
highest sells still, right? Or other than Wii.
yeah. I just remember like some of the best games that I ever played, or well, more than that, it's just very keen memories to it, like Slay Cooper, Return Blank, Jack X.
Hmm.
Then for exclusive for myself, then I got a PSP.
Oh, yeah, that's another one we talk about on Nerd Today. Yeah, what a system, man.
Yeah,
What a that's a like a 1-2 punch of like great PlayStation consoles, man. Especially when PlayStation was like not only dominant but also just strange, and like they knew they can just make weird games and things like that. That's really good 1-2.
yeah,
That's
that was cool. The only thing is that that leads me uh, many years later longing for IPs and games that will no longer be developed and stuff.
fair. Yeah, that's it's probably the biggest issue with many of that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Next, what is your favorite video game ever?
my favorite video game ever. At the moment, it's Outer Wilds.
Ooh.
I play it yeah, last year, 2023, and I just love the game. It just yeah, it reached a lot of sensible fibers for me, because I love space. I love spaceships. This whole thing about time and yeah, I don't want to spoil the game, but
Yes, yeah, it's really
it's
easy
amazing.
to. It's so funny. Yeah, if you ever
Yeah,
played it,
but
play it. It's very good, but it's you can't talk too much about it. But
yeah, yeah,
unfortunately,
it's just a game that the least you know about it, the better. But the yeah will be Outer Wilds next to Dishonor. Yeah, the three games of Dishonor and the DLCs. I just love them to death. My favorite games and a huge inspiration for what I do.
that's awesome. That's awesome. You must be really excited about Blade coming out.
Yeah,
I,
that's gonna be
man,
real fun. I just know it.
that was my favorite announcement from this past Game Awards. When I saw that, I was like, just that team specifically working on that IP. I was like, oh my god, that's gonna be special already. I cannot wait.
Yeah, yeah. It was just I was really excited because I actually tweeted like it was Arcane, then Blade, and then Team Three Person. It was like yeah, it just hit me with everything, and I'm all in for that game.
Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. What is your favorite gaming memory?
My favorite gaming memory. Ooh, um, it's quite recent. Well, it's not precisely gaming, but it's related to gaming. This PC, this desktop that I
Mhm.
just recently built, and I save all the parts myself, and I build it myself, and I choose the parts myself. It's for work, but I also use it to game.
Yeah,
But
same, same.
yeah, that's a recent one. But another one, probably when the PS4 came out,
Mhm.
uh, I was in yeah pretty much high school and finishing middle school, and it was just in a moment that me and all my friends got together and we were like, okay, do we buy the Xbox One or do we buy the PS4 so we can all play together? So yeah, the first year of the PS4, and when I finally got people to play with,
That's
that's
awesome.
probably yeah my favorite gaming memory.
That's awesome. I have this photo. I haven't shared it too much on my social media. I'll have to do it after when we maybe when I share this episode again. I share it every once in a while, but me and my best friend got our PlayStation 4s on the same day on launch day. And there's this photo my wife took of us, and we like, she just caught us in the moment, and we literally, jokingly to us, we were like, "Oh, we're gonna hug our PS4s," but I didn't know my wife had her phone out, so
Yeah,
like we're like deep hugging, and we look like other than our beards, we look like children, we like grown children just hugging.
yeah, the pure
These,
joy
oh
and
my god,
excitement.
yeah, I don't think anyone's ever been that happy, or nor should be that happy in a Walmart ever again. But yeah, that's up there. That's definitely up there. And what game are you currently playing?
Currently I'm playing Alan Wake 1, so I can play Alan Wake 2.
I'm about to start
And
that myself. Yeah.
yeah, I'm also playing the finals a lot, just a lot. I
Oh.
just well the when the PS4 first came out, one of the few games that it had was Battlefield 4.
Hmm.
And yeah, the finals is made by some of the people from Battlefield, and it
Oh,
takes
yeah,
me
I didn't
back,
realize that. Yeah.
and it just takes me back, and I love the game. I'm like, oof, like 15. They are like 15 hours in just this last week,
Oh
something like
wow,
that.
that's awesome. Yeah, my friends are obsessed. I always see them if they're not playing I think Lethal Company recently,
Oh,
they are
that's cool
playing
too.
the finals. That's all they're doing. And then I don't know where my one friend and my co-host for my I have a Final Fantasy podcast as well, where he
Oh,
gets the time, but like literally today I was like, well, yeah, he's been playing, I know he's been playing Baldur's Gate, like he's on his like 16th run for some reason. He loves that game. I was like, and then all this stuff, and out of nowhere, he just texts our group message like, "Hey guys, I beat Final Fantasy 4." I was like, "Okay,
oh,
I
oh,
guess
okay,
episode 4 is gonna happen sooner
yeah.
than I thought." All right, that's awesome. All right, that's great to hear, man. Yeah, I'm about to start Island Wake 1 myself as well. I always wanted to play it. I own it like 3 or 4 times over. I just never got down to play it. But I got on the during the holiday break there was that Epic Game Sale, so I got, what was it? You buy part 2, you got part 1 with it and all that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, it was a cool sort
yeah,
of.
thank good for sales. All right.
Thank God for sales.
It helps, man. It helps. All right, so we're gonna get kicked into the episode proper. I want to talk about one of my most anticipated games. I saw it on Twitter. A friend of mine's retweeted. I think Kickstarter was the one who shared footage because you guys are like an overwhelming success on Kickstarter,
Yep.
specifically for this game. But he's Mexican American and he shared this first look at it with Mariachi Legends, which is developed by your studio, Halberd Studios. And then, do you guys have a publisher yet, or is it going to be published by like your previous game is published by Freedom Games, correct? So,
Yeah. We were. Yeah. It's basically we worked on 9 Years of Shadows
mhm.
with uh, Freedom Games just after the Kickstarter, and yeah, this Mariachi Legends was also born in a certain way with Freedom.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Yeah, that's the only thing I didn't see. I don't know if or maybe I overlooked it on the Steam page. But you guys just ended the Kickstarter campaign with over, I would say, what, 11 million pesos, which roughly equates to 652 thousand American dollars.
Yeah.
And then, as you mentioned, 9 Years of Shadows was just released over in March of last year, which with very positive reviews on Steam as well. I'll
Yeah.
have
Thank
links
God.
to, yeah, I know. I'll have a link down below for Mariachi Legends specific on Steam, so everyone can wishlist it, and then 9 Years of Shadows, which I'm eager to try as well. Did you work on 9 Years Shadows as well?
Yeah, I started at Halberd as a production intern,
Hmm.
and I told my lead that I was interested in being on the development team for another project, which is now Mariachi Legends. But halfway through, well, not halfway, but in the middle of a delivery for the publisher, game design was needing help with the new door and gate systems,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Oh, we know that you all have interested, interest on yeah, game dev. So hop around for a week, see if you like it." And it was just actually a weekend to work on that, and then it was a week, and then 2 weeks, and then it was a month, and basically I just helped finish 9 Years of Shadows. It was around, yeah, like 8 months or so,
Okay,
not like, yeah, 9 months, the final 9 months of 9 Years of Shadows.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I like looking at the Halberd website as well. Like I saw footage of 9 Year Shadow and I was like, oh my god, it's like Magical Girl meets like Greek legends. Like this is so cool. This is right up my alley. I'll have to definitely try that out down the line. Um, Before we speak about Mariachi Legends, I wanted to highlight because I guess not a lot of love is shown to many Latin countries when it comes to game development. Thank God for communities like Latinx in gaming, and when you have
Yeah.
people like Daniel Pena out there with Gamertag Radio who tries to showcase a lot of places as well, or you have like Spawn on Me with Khalif Adams. Um, so what's can you tell me what's the indie scene like over in Mexico, specifically in Guadalajara? Are you guys like the only studio, or like are there other ones?
Yeah, it's not necessarily small, it's rather quiet sorts. Like there are other studios in Guadalajara. Like for example, I know here in Guadalajara, I know of clearly of Halberd. I know of another two game studios. There's also like this big company focused on outsourcing. I know of two solo devs. And there's also a rumor of another studio who is working on something secret, which they're going to unveil hopefully soon.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, it's quiet. Although there are some events, but they're not, how can I call it, game focus events. There are game events and stuff. But for example, there was Pizzolato, which it's an event that celebrates everything related to media and arts here in Guadalajara. And yeah, a lot of devs go there, but it's not necessarily a dev focus event. But it's quiet. We know a couple of people, and they're really nice to talk with and work with.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, because I love. Yeah, I don't think it was until like I found the Latinx in gaming that you don't realize like yeah everyone's making games around the world like
Yeah,
it's not really focused on there and then following that community and seeing I think they just recently tweeted that there's like a Chilean like game expo, but they're gonna show off on Twitch. They've worked with like Puerto Rican games developers as well. It's like it's just cool to see all many of us who have grown up with video games also try to work within a space that's I guess under like I don't want to say underutilized, but also like not seen as often and not championed as much as like most Western studios, unfortunately, or Eastern studios.
yeah. What happens is that well, the minimum salary here in Mexico it's lower. So basically, that means that it's cheaper to work with uh, designers or artists from Mexico. And what happens is that since well IPs and those kind of breaks are really expensive to make,
Mm-hmm.
what happens is that a lot of studios have very small development teams and they have like big outsourcing teams in which they just land as to say artists and designers for other projects.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. And then I just really find it interesting. That was another thing too. What I love that when I first saw obviously the footage of Mariachi Legends, it spoke to me because like one of my favorite movie series is Robert Rodriguez, Mariachi trilogy,
Mhm.
and I love and it's had that kind of style to it, especially with Pablo. And we'll get into it a little more, but that was immediately one of my first looks, and I was like, "Ooh, wow, this looks really cool." And then to find that you guys are in Mexico, and I was like, "Oh wow, like this is awesome!" Like more of us, like seeing more of us in different communities, in different Latin communities, just trying to rise up. Like it's really cool. I feel like it's a movement that's totally starting. It's boiling at this point. Like
Yeah,
we're about to rise up real big. It's really cool to see. So I'm really happy that you guys are showing off something amazing. Obviously, again, I'm gonna gush this whole interview and this whole episode, but let's get into Mariachi Legends itself. So I'll just go over some of the story from the Kickstarter and everything. So Mariachi Legends is a combat-oriented Metroidvania set in the heart of Mexico. A violent gang known as the Mariachi Legends threatened the town of Santa Mascoda. You play as Pablo Cruz, a detective who has agreed to deal with death herself. She's given Pablo the ability to transfer him to the mighty La Sombra, allowing him to fight back against the criminals encroaching on his hometown. In return, Pablo has vowed to made Madre Catrina, to bring Madre Catrina, the one thing that has eluded her grasp, the man who defied her power and became immortal. Embark on a journey fraught with dark twists and supernatural obstacles. Sharpen your skills and sword as you fight your way across Mexico and scour every corner of the map until you find your prey. So, with that out of the way, what as a studio for you guys, what made you guys go from, I joked around with Nine Shadows kind of being like Greek mythology mixed with
yeah.
Magical Girl, Sailor Moon, esque route. What made you guys want to get into something closer to home, like kind of showcase off Mexico?
Well, after all, as I said before, what happens here in Mexico is that a lot of studios go to outsourcing, and sometimes they make stuff they don't want to make, sadly. So basically, the vision for of rather of Miguel Caston, who is our studio director, it's basically making the games overall, just making the games that we want to make. So yeah, it was in a certain way, uh, yeah, a leap of faith. Just like okay, here's the Mexican studio making a Mexican themed video game. Well, it was in a certain way. We were like, okay, so if we make something close to home, we can hit it with people that are here in our homes. And it's also easier to find inspiration or to be more truthful to those inspirations if you have it down the street, for example. So it was basically yeah, inspiration, or in a certain way, just I don't know how to call it, but um, validation also, in a way.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. And it's funny when you see a lot of like um big studios, or obviously a lot of comparisons will come with, especially with the Day of the Dead aspect. A lot of Westerners, I'm going to sure I'm going to say like, oh, like Coco and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But it's awesome when you see something from people who understand their culture and want to showcase their own culture. I think it shows, especially with Mariachi Legends. Even the brief snippets that we've seen of gameplay, it's already beautifully shown off. I was shocked too to find out, because unfortunately, I'm not fortunately, I am Puerto Rican, so I don't know too much about many of the towns of Mexico. But I was looking doing research, and I didn't realize Mascota was a real place. Um, and I looked up the images. It's like one for one,
yeah,
like what we see. And it's funny. I think on their website they mentioned like a town lost to time, in a way, or separated from time. And it seeing the like, if you go on the Kickstarter, there's an image of Pablo in the town square with a lot of the flowers around him, and it looks. I mean, honestly, it looks like a just pixel art version of what you see on their website, their tourist website, which is awesome. Um, was there a reason with picking Mascota for as the town, or did you guys want something to capture like that kind of like 80s style of Mexico?
well, the thing is that there uh, we have people from all around Mexico in the team. For example, I'm not from Guadalajara. A great part of the team is, but we have people from the north of the country. We have people from the south, from the uh, center of the country. So yeah, although the places change and the towns also change depending on where you at, there's a certain essence that is shared within all these places. So I believe the Santa Mascota was a decision from direction based on a relative of a relative that they had from a Santa Mascota.
Mhm.
And I don't remember fully, but I believe it was something like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I again, I was like so shocked. Like I literally, I just happened to find like the tourist site, and I had like both images up back to back. I was like, huh. I was like, honestly, if you look at the tourist photos, other than like the modern cars, like it looks like one for like what you have in Mariachi Legends.
Yeah.
Um,
Also,
mhm.
kudos to the art team. They're just fucking amazing. Yeah.
Dude, it's so fucking outstanding. Yeah, honestly, and the pixel art is such a great thing. I know it can be difficult for so many people, and I've heard devs in the past being like, yeah, pixel art, it takes time, but like it pays off so well when you
Yeah.
see it in action and everything like that. Um, so with the style, specifically with gameplay aspect, whose choice was it, or like, are you guys all fans of Metroidvanias? Like, did you guys want to? Was there any discussions on any other play style specifically for the game?
Yeah, there's been a few pivots in the game direction that I cannot talk about. But we have been switching along the way with ideas. And overall, in the pre-production stages, we were whatever do this, or we do this routine, or that, which sounds really cool. But overall, um, yeah, Miguel grew, some director grew with those games, Metroidvanias, Metroid, Castlevania, and many of the other members of the team also grew up with those games. Um, I didn't have, yeah, I didn't have that much of experience with those games, since it weren't the most the best selling games of the PS2 or the PS3 or PSP.
Hmm.
So I didn't have that much experience until I started working on Language of Shadows. But the decision overall to work on another Metroidvania was like, Like, if we are a studio with experience, but we don't have that much experience yet. So, it makes sense that we make another Metroidvania, fixing the flaws that we might have encountered along the way while working on Ninjas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah, yeah, overall it was due to experience.
Yeah. I wanted to shout out specifically on the Kickstarter. There's a you guys have like a list of like inspirations for gameplay wise at least, and then as well as like some visual like inspirations like movies and things like that. But one thing I wanted to shout out is I saw listed was, obviously Castlevania and some other game, Guacamelee. But then I saw the 16-bit Disney Aladdin game listed, and I
Yeah,
just wanted to shout that out because I love that game. Obviously, growing up, now that I know I'm so much older than you, Lex, there's another gray hair that came through the beard. I saw that and I was very happy, like very pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, I love that game, man. That was a very fun game playing, and growing up. So it was really cool to see that. I wanted to touch on when going through like the press release for the game, and they mentioned La Sombra being like is listed on, at least in the press release, as a mariachi suit imbued with supernatural powers, where and then some of the art that's listed kind of shows this like, obviously there's going to be like callbacks to Venom when you say, a suit imbued with powers or anything like that, but there is this kind of like Venom-esque like image of like the suit going over Pablo. Was there like were there any like dark characters that inspired like the relationship between Pablo and Madre Catrina? Because in my head, I immediately saw that and thought of like characters like Spawn or the Crow. That's
yeah,
what the two things that popped in my head.
yeah. Overall, the look of Pablo in La Sombra, um, yeah, it was kind of like it. The idea was born from this alter ego, like a detective that turns into a superhero at night. It's basically something like Batman,
Hmm.
but yeah, also I don't recall all the details, but when the art department was working on the concept, there were like, yeah, a lot of characters going back and forth. But I do remember that Spawn, for example, was like one of the reference image for this embodiment of Pablo as La Sombra.
Yeah, that's
There
also.
were there are many reference to that.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people, at least with modern audiences, you hear like a symbiotic relationship or something with like a suit that's living or imbues powers to like a human. Everyone obviously goes to Venom because he's probably the most popular character, but no one thinks about
Yeah,
Spawn, like specifically. Like that is a living suit, and it's like if you read those books, they do mention it's a symbiotic suit. But yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I got this idea like when I was at least reading that and kind of looking at some of the story beats. I was like, man, it kind of reminds me of The Crow as well. I was like, I wonder if that's something that you guys were thinking about. So that's good to know though that you guys. I was on the right path. That was right on the money there.
yeah. You were.
Now with can you, if you don't mind, just I wanted to go over some of the gameplay specifically and like the choices behind it. Like they, if you can, and don't, if you can't talk about anything since everything's so early on, please don't worry. Um, can you elaborate more on the day and night cycle that was mentioned in the Kickstarter and how that it's going to play into the gameplay and story aspect?
Yeah. I'm gonna be very brief about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just in order
Fair.
to protect myself. But yeah, the day and night cycle. Yeah, it's just not that. How can I explain it? Well, there are going to be differences on gameplay and on the levels if you travel to a level well at night or yeah during the day.
Okay.
That's that's as much as I can say
That's
without
fair.
getting an email from HR. But
Yeah. A
yeah,
little red dot just pops up right here. He was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Yep.
yeah. I think that's as much that I can say at the moment because we are working on surprises.
No,
still.
that's very fair. Yeah, when I read that, at least in my head, and again, you don't have to confirm or anything. I was thinking of like maybe like items or something would be available at one part if you're there at the day or night, or enemies and things of that nature. So that was really cool. I thought when I saw that in the Kickstarter, I was like, "Ooh, that's going to be cool." I wonder how they're going to implement that. Can you, Lex, could you elaborate some? There was mentioned some light RPG mechanics. Like, how is that? Is there a leveling system? Is there obviously you're working on inventory, so there is going to be inventory. Is it going to be similar to like Castlevania, like Symphony of the Night, where there are like pieces you can like for defense and everything like that?
Yeah, what I can say is that we are heavily inspired on Order of Ecclesia or Ecclesia, I believe it's
Hmm.
pronounced. Yeah, that's been a huge inspiration for Medici, gameplay wise in the RPG style.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Um, and again, because a lot of these, again, you guys are I mean, it's full production, but you guys are keeping like the Kickstarter just ended, so I know you guys can't talk too much.
Yeah.
Um, there was mention of tarot cards, and they play an aspect into gameplay. Could you speak about how that might present itself?
I'm not sure if I can speak about that
Fair, fair.
because yeah, basically the Kickstarter was like a teaser for
Hmm.
the different mechanics that we are going to have. But I really want to, but I don't know
No, hey,
how
it's fair. No, I understand
into
how game
depth I
develop.
can
Well,
go.
it's funny as a fan of video games and getting into this podcast space and having like so many inspirations. I know that there's like so many like I don't want to push if you can't, like I don't want to get anybody in trouble because I'm so excited as well to see more of the game when it comes out. I'm not even joking. I think I gushed so much on the internet about it over a weekend that you hit me up. You're like, "Hey, do you want to talk?" I'm like, "Yes, absolutely, please." I am dying to talk about this game with anybody at any
Yeah,
minute.
we are also dying to show the game and talk about it and just present a lot of stuff. But yeah, we are all under NDA, and yeah, overall the NDA it's not precisely like, oh, don't talk about it because people are going to steal the ideas. It's more that um yeah, development shifts every week. Well, not precisely, but there are a lot of decisions. There's a lot of information that comes and goes, and yeah, it's basically to prevent us like talking about something that may or may not be on the final product.
Yeah,
But
no, that's fair.
we will yeah in yeah I will love to talk in another time about Mirachi and explain everything
Absolutely.
with
Well,
more
you know
depth.
what? I would love to do like a post-release talk about
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, because I have so many ideas and be like, I was right, I was wrong. Who knows? I'm very interested about that. With the production lining up and everything, I do have some production related questions that you may be able to answer. What you guys are looking at like showcases and anything like that? Is there like I was gonna message you separately, but I was like I could do it on the show, obviously. Because I have friends in the indie community. They're called 61 Indie. I'm not sure if you heard of them. They're American,
um,
like indie, basically focused website. They do a lot of YouTube as well. They do like PAXs and things like that, where they do like showcasing games. They have two showcases coming up. I'm not. Have you heard of them at all?
I think I have. I saw you retweet someone, I believe, a couple days ago. So
Mhm.
maybe it was them.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to get you in touch with them. They have a really welcoming
Sure.
Discord for you guys, and I think they would be really. I already. That was like the first people I think text when I saw this game. Like, guys, I know you guys do a lot of indie games. I talk. Fortunately, I've been doing a lot of AAA because my money's tight. It's like, oh, I got $70. What am I gonna buy? I got fortunately to buy this AAA game. But I mentioned them to you guys to them, so I'll have to introduce you guys properly as well. And then I think
Cool.
as for the
Appreciate it.
studio, there is a I think submissions are open now, but the mini indie expo, I believe they're called, or maybe I'm wrong, but they're teaming up with a group here in America, Kind of Funny, and they're doing like a big indie showcase in March, I believe. But their submissions are open, so yes, I don't know
Cool.
where you guys are gonna be, like if you guys can show anything, but they have
Uh,
a lot of eyes on there.
we will look into it. But yes, sometimes those are tricky showcases because it depends on, yeah, it's a lot of stuff that not only direction is in charge of. There are other departments such as media and business development, which go into like, yeah, like how much is it going to cost, how many people is it going to reach, do we have actually anything to show. Yeah,
Hmm.
there's, yeah, it's a lot of factors come into play regarding showcases, but mostly is that uh, well, with Ninjas, it was a lot about how much can we share or what new do we have to share, and are we going to, yeah, gain more people interested into the game.
No,
But
that's fair.
we will, yeah, I will bring that up to the higher tables.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's I think that's a thing within the gaming, uh whether it be media as well or as development and publisher side. Like I think there's that push and pull. Like, do we show something very early? Do we even talk about it? Because I
Yeah, that's
think
also
yeah.
the publisher, because the publisher has can or may not have like certain contracts,
Mhm.
or maybe the publisher has already has signed for bigger bands and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of, yeah, it's a lot of stuff that comes into play, as I said.
Absolutely. And then finally, I wanted to ask one question. When because I've seen so many Kickstarter campaigns and everything, and again, congratulations on the success of the Kickstarter campaign. I
Thank
don't
you.
think I mentioned that in the beginning, but congratulations, that is a huge success, and I know it's been
Appreciate it.
like Kickstarter has been promoting it a lot as well as like a very successful campaign. Can you briefly kind of go over how does it work, like from a development standpoint, like when you guys make the decision to be like, all right, we're gonna go to Kickstarter, for funding. Like where does that idea start? Where does like how does the team prepare for that? And as well, um, obviously you can't tell like a release date. Obviously, you guys are still early, but like what do creating those goals like how does that work? Like those
Um,
stretch goals.
yeah, so basically, this comes from uh direction. Um, and it's because like when they have a vision and we start to develop the vision, we overall we are making an estimate in which how long is it going to take to accomplish that, how much time, how much money. And yeah, sometimes there's a point in developments in which uh yeah, it just happens that, oh, we might not make it in the current time that we have, and that the time refers to money, to a budget, pretty much. And yeah, and during the development, maybe the first vision that a studio had, um yeah, it just has a lot of more stuff that, yeah, just come as surprise or have to be, or take more time or more complexity. But yeah, that how the decision to go into Kickstarter is made. Like, yeah, it's related to vision. But the stretch goals is that, like, for example, based on the numbers of people that are working on the project, yeah, the studio, the Halberd has around 40 people working in and out of Mariachi. And well, it's like, with the amount of people that we have, um, how much time does it take to finish an animation, finish a level, finish a system, this or that? And yeah, the production creates a rough or not so rough estimate, or how much is it going to take, and how many salaries will need to be paid in that
Oh, okay.
in that set of months and stuff. So we think about a development cycle or window, and then we also think about a QA window and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess I didn't think of the salary aspect when it came to that. I don't know why. Uh, you know what? I another this is a random question that just popped in my head with the Kickstarter. When you guys are like, are there pitch meetings for the stretch goals? Like for like, are they fun? Because I saw what the one big one is pinata mode.
Mhm.
So instead of obviously blood or anything like that, it's pinata pieces coming off, which I thought was pretty funny. How does is it just like a big meeting room and you guys are just pitching whatever you guys want, like at that point, just say it's whatever sticks, like whatever someone finds fun or like interesting.
Yeah, so that depends on the leads,
Mm.
the programmer leads, the game design leads, production leads, art leads, in which yeah they say that, oh, if we do this, it will take around a month with this many people working on it. So the production goes, okay, so that roughly translates to this amount of budget. Um, so we basically define like the what we want to do or what we need money or yeah, like a big amount to do.
Mm.
And yeah, it's just about well, the complexity and how much that it also adds to the game, because we can have like the piñata mode, which is gonna take a lot from the animation and art
Fair.
department.
That's very fair. Yeah.
Yeah, but for example, or guest composer, that it's like there are like add-ons or stretch goals that are depth to the game, and there are also stretch goals that are like overall quality to the game.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that's interesting. That's awesome, man. So Lex, thank you so much for stopping by the Nerd Day podcast. I know we've been talking a little bit on the internet since early December, but like I'm so happy for you guys. This game looks incredible.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see like the full release. I can't wait to see any new stuff that pops up. Obviously, I think tentative right now, at least on Steam. I'm going by Steam. It does say 2024. And then you guys hit stretch goals, I believe, for Switch, right? I think there's a Switch release, and then there's a physical
Yep.
release coming with like this awesome like pack with like figurines and everything, which is very beautiful. You can check it out on the Kickstarter. Obviously, it's closed, but you can still see everything that's to come for the game. Anything you want to say about the game or about Halberd before we sign off?
Well, in yeah, we are really excited about Mariachi. Um, I do not have the date
Fair.
because yeah, first I don't want to be shot, so
Yeah, yeah,
or
no,
or
that's fair.
maybe
I'm
they
worried
don't.
about your life. That I'm worried about you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want you to get
I
hurt.
yeah, I think it's also that they don't want to shoot me in
Yeah,
a way.
yeah,
But yeah, we're all really excited about this game. It's a game that we want to make, so there's a lot of passion and effort put into it, and that's going to be put into the game. And yeah, it's we can't wait to show you more in the passing months.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Again, uh, for anybody listening or viewing, you can just there's a link down below for the Steam page, wish list it because I know that helps a lot. And then as well, I think I don't know if there's anything for Switch. I didn't check that. I was just really preoccupied with the Steam wish list. I know that helps so much, so that'll be down below. I guess you could check out Halberd. I'll have the socials down below. Lags, do you want to pip your socials as well, or?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter slash X as at Lagz TV. And yeah, you can follow me there. You can send me a message, whatever. Uh, yeah, I love to talk.
That's awesome. And that would be it for this episode of Nerd Day Podcast. Again, for all my stuff, you can see it down below. But again, Mariachi Legends is going to be, I already know it's going to be a big hit whenever it lands. I can't wait to see the future when it comes out. I'm going to be so excited. Again, it's only January. So if this, at least selfishly, if this hits this year, it's going to be on the top 10, I feel like. I can already tell. Just style wise and gameplay wise, I think we're in for something special. So, I will catch you guys on the next one, and until next time, bye. I don't know how I end my shows. See you.
Peace.